Okay, so hi guys. This is the end of our Learn Free conference, although we have one more session tonight. We've actually been through a whirlwind of 4+ days of conference. We had a break on Sunday, but other than that, it's been pretty non-stop. And I would like to say that actually I think that the topics and the speakers we've had this year, there's just so much that I think it's incomparable to previous years. We've always had great content, always at Learn Free, but I do feel like this year it's been incredibly powerful and impactful. The people that we've heard from, the encouragement we've had. And I said something earlier in one of our other sessions, which I think is very much what this conference is about. And that is that we don't realize how much we need empowerment until we receive it. And this conference, at its heart, is the desire to empower, equip, enable, and encourage parents to educate their children with boldness and freedom. And as I've said before, there's just no better time to become bolder and freer and louder. We gave the definition of those words in our opening session. And with all that we're facing politically, it is very much more important that we embrace that bold side and that free side and speak out for ourselves, speak out for our community, speak out for future generations, for the freedom that we have as home educators. Now, what I'd like to do is, in previous years, we have, well, last year particularly, we focused on Joy Baker. Now, not everyone knows who Joy Baker is, but she was a pioneer in this country in respect of home education and even in respect of unschooling, when she defied the authorities in the 50s and 60s by choosing not to send her children to school. And she had to fight that battle for many years in court to get all of, to be able to have that right to educate her children at home without interference. And if it behaves, I've got a little clip of Joy Baker, which was filmed in her later years, reflecting on her home educating back then. So I'm going to attempt to share that. So bear with me. I need to just find that, and hopefully it will play properly without any issues. Okay, this I can press play there now.
Joy Baker is an inspiration, even a martyr. She was the first to do battle with the authorities over her right to educate her 7 children. To her, it wasn't an act of defiance, just the natural way to bring up her own family in her own way.
I had been brought up in a society where it was quite permissible to keep a child at home, and it never really occurred to me that anything would happen. We just didn't intend to send our children to school. And I believed, and I still believe, that the main part of early education, certainly a child acquires in the home, in the course of growing up, and it doesn't need to be put into a school to learn it. And, well, of course, at that point, the authorities found out what was happening and started attacking me. And from that point on, it was a matter of fighting to keep the children at home.
It was an unlikely setting for a confrontation which upset the educational apple cart. Mrs. Baker lived in an idyllic part of Norfolk. She was determined that her children should not suffer the unhappiness that she had had at school.
We lived really as perhaps they lived 100 years ago, I suppose. I put the clock back. And in the course of doing the things which ordinary adult people do every day, they asked questions, they found things out, and they learned.
One of the things they learnt was how to cope with investigative television reporters.
These children, the youngest of a family of 7, have never been to school. And if their mother wins a legal battle that is just beginning, Hugh 10, Martin 9, and April 8 will never go to school. Why do you refuse to send your children to school, Mrs. Baker?
I was at school for 8 years, and I was thoroughly unhappy every moment of the time. And as I grew older, I realized that I had learned absolutely nothing of any value at school. I had, in fact, been done a great deal of damage.
Well, now, there is another aspect of school which many people place great importance on, and that is the kind of education a child gets by mixing with other children, by learning how to get on with other people.
Yes, I had that. I learned to be so frightened of people that I couldn't walk into a room with anybody else in it. I learned to hate every person I met because I had been so very unhappy among people. I think that's absolute nonsense.
The vehemence with which she fought for the right to teach her children made her for a time notorious.
I only intended to bring up my own children in their own home in my own way, and I had no idea that I should become a national figure for doing it, but it wasn't really my fault. I mean, if you attack any mother with young, you will get the sort of response they got from me.
Joy Baker's children, their cats and their avant-garde education became local celebrities and a legal cause celeb. There were fierce battles with the county educators, first in Norfolk and then in Suffolk. She was sentenced to prison. Her children were taken from her and put into care. In the end, the Lord Chief Justice declared that she was providing them with an adequate education. She'd won. At 69, Mrs. Baker is no longer the scourge of County Hall. Her children have grown up and left home. She has 12 cats and as many grandchildren. Life is a lot quieter now.
I feel rather like the song about the Victorian fallen woman, you know. Oh no, we never mention her. I did something unforgivable, you see. I won. And that they will never want brought out into the open again. Because there was no question about it. I broke all the rules. I defied every authority. And I won.
So I share that as a reminder, you know, that this is not a new battle. This is a battle that parents have been having for many years, and it really boils down to discrimination and misunderstanding. And Joy really epitomizes everything that this conference is about, which is about being bolder and freer and louder, being unafraid to stand up for what we believe is right. Now, last night I was catching up on the home education documentary. I had an interview with the family that made this documentary. And in the documentary, they interviewed the Van Oostrom family, who are actually, we've known them for many years, who defended the rights of home educators in South Africa for many, many years. And Leendert Van Oostrom's daughters made quite a she made a statement which just really stuck with me. She said, we're not fighting because we hate the education department. We're fighting because we love our families. And I think it's important to remember that is why we're fighting, and that to make that clear, you know, when in our communications, we're not opposed to this system, because the system exists and works for some, but we love our families and we want our families to have that right to educate their children boldly and freely. And so what I also wanted to do is, you know, through all the wonderful speakers we've had, and boy, there've been some amazing, I haven't even managed to watch all of them, but I've watched a good few. And it's been an incredible feast of rich input, of just nourishment for our spirits and inspiration for our everyday. And I've been collecting a few quotes. So I thought I would like to read some of those quotes out to you from this weekend. And of course, if anyone has any others, please put them in the chat and I'll share them as well. So Gina Riley, who quoted from the research that she has done with Peter Gray, one of the most widely known benefits of unschooling, individuals learn how to learn and live a life of learning that is completely generalizable. Julia Black said, we have to look at the culture of learning we have in our home. Rushka from the home education documentary said, you're teaching even when you don't know you're teaching. Rebecca Johnson from the Home Education documentary said, the point of this journey wasn't to try and box people. It was to try and show how the people outside of the box experience life. At its base level, at its fundamental core, there is no box. That is the true beauty of home education. Molly Ashton, relationship is central to our home ed. Jen Richardson, you can't duplicate what you have as a parent, no matter how well-intended you are. Naomi Fisher, we remove autonomy, we damage intrinsic motivation. And then I had one up here, Fabienne, which I really loved. She was looking at the Harry Potter film at a specific image where all the characters come together and they shine their wands, they hold their wands up. And Fabienne said, imagine if all of us could come together. We can all come together and shine our wands and our lights. And I think that is a very powerful image, is that we are actually a strong community. There are a lot of us, but if we want to make a loud noise, we have to make that noise together. And we can, I think I said this last year, is that we can all be making a different noise. It's just important that we make it all at the same time and very loudly. And we can be saying different words and singing different songs, but we can be heard. So this conference is something that, you know, I really, every bit of my being is that I want to encourage people and inspire them. I want to help parents to really just catch that vision for themselves and for their family, for the great hope that home education offers. And it's just lovely to see the comments just coming in of people who have really enjoyed that, people who've only discovered this conference this year. And I do hope that you will go back and tell people about it. The content is still going to actually be available. I might offer some at like a discounted rate, so people can come back, sign up, get all that content, all the recordings, but you have access to that for 6 months. And Jana has sort of said, like when everyone was clapping for the NHS, we kind of need to make a noise a bit like that, but we're going to have to be a heck of a lot louder. Well, Jana, it's going to have to be on every single platform and using whatever tools, whether it's TikTok or Twitter or Facebook or, you know, whatever your platform is, you need to use your platform. And we need to really highlight, and so that we might have a chance actually of pushing this back for a good long time. Somehow our messages of positive, that positive benefit of home education, the positive force that home education is for children and for families and for parents, that positive message needs to be louder than the negative message. The constant referrals to invisible children and ghost children and concerns about safeguarding, we have to override all of those messages, because we know the truth, and that these are not things that the government should be attaching to home education. So please, you just think about how you can use your platform, how you can get involved. We will be talking tonight about some ways forward politically. So if you're able to join us this evening, that would be great. You know, we can perhaps find out ways that we can do it. But all of us have a sphere of influence. All of us have a platform, and we need to really claim that and get that message out. So I couldn't really end off our wonderful conference, which as I say, my heart is very, very full today. I will sleep well tonight, knowing I don't have to get up too early tomorrow. But my heart is very full today, just with all of the content and the wonderful thoughts and the people that have supported me in this, the speakers that have come along and just supported what we're doing and seeing what we're trying to do and believing it. So I do have to say a very, very huge thank you to my family, because they really do put up with a lot. This conference takes absolutely months to prepare, and I think by the time May comes around, they are thoroughly sick of hearing about it, and they really just put up with me and they're just thankful I come and shut myself in a room and get on with it. But, you know, just a huge thank you to them, because there is a huge cost to them in me being able to do this. And then I have to thank our sponsors, so specifically tutors and exams, who really come behind me every year and make a contributions to enable me to get everything set up and running. And then, of course, Changemaker Teens and Mothers at Home Matter, who have also kindly supported the work that I'm trying to do here. I also want to thank the team from Streams, so Matt and Sean and Joe, who support me so much and have been helping with the conference as well. That they just always validate and affirm everything that I'm doing and keep me going when I'm feeling a bit down and things are getting difficult. I just really want to thank them for their support. It's so much appreciated. And then, of course, we couldn't ignore all these fantastic volunteers that you've seen in all the sessions, opening the Zooms, greeting you with a smile, making sure everyone's sorted, making sure things run smoothly. They been running their little coffee sessions and the lunch sessions. And these are all just amazing people. I just enjoy them so much because, you know, I know, you know, just that having that connection with somebody friendly. So the one thing about this conference is I don't want this conference to be a sort of one where it's like all corporate and, you know, you just come and you go to the sessions and off you go. I want you to feel that connection and to make new friends. That's something that's quite important to me, and that you feel like you actually have been at a physical event, even when you are unable to be. And once again, I have to give a very, very huge thank you to my very dear friend, Doré. So Doré, give us a wave. Okay. And you can all give us a round of applause to Doré, because the website would not work without Doré. Okay, so Doré has put in absolute hours and hours and hours just supporting me with the website and helping me realize the vision that I had for the website, and actually really doing everything she could to accommodate my weird requests and big ideas. Thank you so much, Doré. And I mean, we do make an amazing team, I do have to say. We do make a great team and we spur each other on, and just want to thank you so much, Doré. I don't know if you want to say a few words and unmute. And she's very quiet the whole weekend. I'm going to ask her to say something. Speak, Doré.
It's very noisy here. Let me just see if I can get a bit of a hush behind me.
Suddenly gone quiet.
There we go. That's better. No, it has been an absolute pleasure. Juliet has stretched me so much. Every time I come up with a solution, she comes up with a new problem. So it's been wonderful to you know, to see all you guys. It's been wonderful to watch the growth. It's been wonderful to watch. I know that I've been fairly quiet, but I have been seeing a lot of what's been going on. And it's been it's been quite a privilege for me.
Yeah, bless you.
It's been quite a privilege for me to be part of something, you know, that really inspires people. I know some of the comments have said that people have really found it encouraging, and it's just good to be part of something like this that leaves a legacy. You know, it's not a fleeting moment. It's not just the past few days. It's what we leave in our wake, and each and every one of you leave a wake, and it's a beautiful wake. And it's, you know, I just know that you're going to go on. Oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. You know, that each of you will go on to affect a whole bunch of people beyond your own families. And I'm proud of you. You've done remarkably well. Some of the stories have really touched me. The things that you've overcome have been quite phenomenal. And yeah, I believe this is something that we continue to build, and we certainly look forward to seeing you again next year. So make sure that you spread the word, because there are other people out there that are feeling isolated, that need this affirmation, that need the knowledge, that need the support. So certainly bring them along next time, and let's enhance this community that we've started. Thank you.
Thank you, Doré. I got a bit more than I expected there. Thank you so much for your very kind words. And I think Doré she makes a very important point, is that the reason we want to empower you is so that you go and do something big, so that you go and do something, you go and impact your community, you impact your sphere of influence. We don't come here just to receive, but we come here to walk out stronger and mightier and become a force to be reckoned with. So thank you, Doré, for just reminding me of that. So having said all my thank yous, I hope that's everybody. I do want to also just thank we have formed an alliance of sorts of organizations and individuals who are trying to come up with ways to fight back against the sort of any political, the challenges we face. And that's not always easy because, bring people together and there's, we're going to rub sometimes for the good and sometimes not so good. And but we do try and support one another, and I just want to thank them also for their support and for participating and helping out at this conference. I want to thank them very much as well. I do hope I haven't forgotten anybody, but just to say we do really appreciate you. And I want to end off with the quote from Robert Frost, which I started off with on Friday. People will tell you that freedom lies in being cautious, but freedom lies in being bold. So thank you. I know we've just got people who've just joined us right now. So those are the words that I have to say. I don't think I can think up many more. It'll be just reiterations of the same thing. So if anyone wants to say anything, I'm quite happy to actually open this up. I think that could be fun, just for a change of approach. So if anyone has anything to say, you can raise your hand or just speak out.
Julia, I think I would just like to say, and I know everyone's posting messages to say thank you, but you do a phenomenal job organising this conference. And I don't think anybody really sees how hard you work or how you navigate the challenges or how you build like a whole conference space behind you. And I know, Doré, you're part of that team, but just to thank you, we know it comes at a sacrifice, and you just champion our community and you lead us on and you inspire us and you draw us together. And I think we just want to honor you. And I think if we could bring you a big bouquet of flowers, or if we could all applaud you, or if we could come and give you mighty hugs, we would. So thank you.
Thanks, Jo. Jana, you wanted to say something? Shall I add you up here? Because I'm kind of just going to add people now. So Jana.
Yeah, hello. I was going to say the same. And actually, I was going to say thank you to the speakers, because having been 3 years in a row, I thought, well, I know these names. I wonder if there'll be something new. And yes, there was, and a lot, and treasure. I suppose, yeah, people give a lot of thought and they serve us, and it benefits the likes of these. So on behalf of family, and all the little ones who will have happier, bolder, louder mums. Thank you very much.
I love that she knows how to smile on cue. I did actually remember somebody I had forgotten to thank, and that is my daughter-in-law, Jade, who actually is the person who's making sure the videos come back onto the website. So I hope you've noticed the lightning speed with which they are back up and available to view. She is the one who's downloading them, editing them, and then popping them back in, normally by the end of the day. So you're actually good to go. And as we've said, we will let you have access for 6 months to the site so that you can actually continue using the community forums and you're watching the videos and all of that.
Lunchtime tables?
Well, maybe, because I think the site is there, we can use it. And please remember that we have a Facebook community. It's called the Learn Free Community. There's a Facebook group, so you can join there as well if you want to keep that conversation going. I know everyone's got so many groups on, but that is there, the Learn Free Community. And I just want to quickly see if there's any. So we've got lots of lovely comments in the chat, and that's fantastic. Thank you so much. And I really hope that, you know, you guys will take time just to process all this wonderful information, this wealth. Go back, rewatch whenever you're feeling a little low, you know, go and find someone to watch again, and get that, to speak that courage back into yourself, because that is there for you. It is really a privilege to be able to do this for you. I do it for you, honestly, 100%. Because as you know, Doré and Joe said, there's a lot of hours involved. My youngest child is 16, so I'm kind of getting to the end of my home educating journey, but the pull to do this and to speak encouragement into people is incredibly strong, and it's not something I'm going to be walking away from anytime soon. So this is for you, and it would look a bit silly if I ran a whole conference and nobody attended. So I do really want to thank you for coming and making it worth my while. It's definitely worth it. And do share with your friends and let them know that you know, I will have a look at a reduced rate for them to come and sign up and get the content and everything. So if you've enjoyed it, tell other people, share the good news, and we will see what we do next year. Be something even more interesting. So thank you very much.